Alright folks, welcome to Premium Fuel Magazine. We're starting off here in Stu's garage just because I wanted to talk about a couple of things. But today's a big day. We are going to be breaking ground on the new drift car today. So first things first, I just wanted to kind of clear up a little bit of confusion that we had last video when I explained my reasons as for building this car. I kind of said that I was reaching the limitations of what I had intended for the Mustang, and some people kind of misinterpreted that the wrong way. As if I was saying maybe the IRS was having limitations or there was limitations with the chassis. That's not actually the case. The limitations that I'm reaching are, believe it or not, the Drift Fox was never intended to be an all-out drift build, and honestly that's not necessarily what I consider the car to be now. I built that car to be fun to drive and for me to have fun driving it. Coincidentally, the most fun I end up having with the car is at drift tracks. But that doesn't mean that I want that car to be a full-on drift car. I still enjoy cruising in the car, and I just want the car to be fun to drive. In order for me to prep that car for competition and even harder driving, I would have to make some compromises in that car that I don't necessarily want to make, which would basically make the car more track-oriented, less street-oriented, and I would just have to change some things that I don't necessarily want to change about the car. I really like the car that it is now. It's not perfect. It will continue to get changes until I get closer to perfection, but I don't want that car to be an all-out track car. So the next car that's coming up will be an all-out track car, and we're gonna push the limits of my driving and things like that even further. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna head down to Thomas's house. We're gonna pull the stance bucket out from the corner that it's in, and we're gonna get to work. And real quick, it's just a preview of some of the stuff that I've been working on for the car in the background, which you'll see a little bit later. These are all parts. You'll get to see what we're doing with that a little bit later, and we're gonna talk about that in just a minute. All right guys, we are here with Thomas Miata's house, and this is the legendary Miata itself. Just came back. How many miles did you just log? Like 10,000 miles in this car?
7,500, I think.
7,500, 105 decibels inside the car. This thing was pristine when it left.
Oh,
came back with some nice battle scars.
hell yeah, got a little beat up. Engine bay looks like trash too.
2 weeks. 2 weeks of just drifting every day. Across country, Arizona to Florida and back to Maryland. Check it out, Drift Week 2, Lone Star Drift, and Thomas Miata
Hell yeah.
page.
Here, check out the engine bay. Full of Blue Devil from all my radiator leaks.
Oh yeah, so this thing got a punctured radiator on the first day. And
day 2, I believe.
He drove through the desert with a busted radiator and drifted every day after that. So if you're ever wondering if Blue Devil works, it definitely works. Like,
it did take out my water pump though, so I had to get a new water pump.
oh, okay.
Thanks to Rudy.
So it's been tested in the worst of circumstances. Obviously, you don't want to leave your car like that, but it will get you out of a pinch. But it got him across country. So on to today's task.
Miata stuff.
Yeah, Thomas is allegedly working Jedi mind tricks on people. The whole crew is getting Miatas now. So there's another Miata coming. We'll show that one to you later today. He says it's not a drift car, but we already know it's going to be a drift car. Like, that's not even a question.
He might get it sideways once or twice.
So let's go ahead and look at the machine and talk about what we're going to do to it. All right guys, my first time behind the wheel of this thing. Got it set up for towing, and we're going to go ahead and do it. Alright guys, so here it is, and pretty much I'm just going to go over my plans with the car for you guys. So for the engine, we're going to be doing a 5.0 swap out of a Fox body with the T5 transmission. It's going to need a custom drive shaft. As far as the front subframe goes, we already have a custom subframe made by One Off Customs, my buddy Ed Stanley, so the 5.0 is going to go directly into there. As for the rear, none of the Miata drivetrain parts are going to be able to handle all that massive 200 horsepower from the V8. So the diff is going to go, the transmission is going to go. Like I said, we're going to run the T5. We're going to run a Ford 8.8 in a modified subframe, which I've been working on, which you saw a few moments ago. We're gonna be running Cobra hubs, Cobra axles, modified Cobra axles. We're gonna have Mustang brakes all around. We're gonna run a Mustang master cylinder. Basically, we're gonna shove so many Mustang parts into this thing right here. It's gonna be more Mustang than my Mustang actually is. So it's gonna be.
It'll be more of a Mustang than your Mustang is?
It actually will.
Oh man.
So.
That's awesome.
To top it off, we're gonna have Mustang wheels on here, 35th anniversary Mustang wheels.
Did you show them this baller ass purple suede?
Oh, okay. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, I was trying to kind of ignore that a little bit.
That's cool.
So, yeah, we've got the Prince interior that's coming out. We also have this amazing Plasti Dip paint job. Guys,
it's textured.
I really need your help. Please give me tips and pointers on how to remove Plasti Dip, because this has got to come off. It's absolutely got to come off.
Very slowly.
Yeah. So it may peel, but I feel like it's probably not thick enough in a lot of places.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got to get this off of here. So
a couple hours out in the sun, hopefully.
yeah, guys, definitely let me know any suggestion. I've heard WD-40. I mean, if you have a really, really good idea that works, let me know. So pretty much what I know so far as upgrades on the car. Jump over it. Go for it. If you break my top, I get the top off of the FD car.
The trunk. What do you think?
Go for it. I think I can jump over the roof.
Dive over the roof.
I'm just gonna clear the roof. Let's see it here.
You going for it?
I'm gonna go for it.
Oh no. I really need more of a run up.
That's not a clear.
Yeah, I needed more speed.
So back to what I was saying. As far as upgrades, it's got an ISR exhaust. That's going to come off because that's not big enough to accommodate the V8. It's got Megan coilovers on it. We'll be keeping those. I have changed out the springs in the front. It's going to need different rear springs. And I also saw that it has Flying Miata subframe bracing on it already, so that's really cool. Downsides of this car is we've got some quarter rust right here, so I definitely want to address that. I hope that's not a sign of anything else bad on the car, because I looked over it pretty good and it seems to be a pretty solid car for what I want to do. So we're gonna go ahead, get this thing in the garage, put it on a lift, and take a look at things. So here's a little preview of what things are going to look like. We got the Rocket Bunny spoiler going on there. We're going to actually be running the exact same fender flares that I have on the Mustang from JDM Fender Flares, aka Gendosa, aka ZG Fender Flares. Definitely hit him up if you want the flares. People are asking me all the time what fender flares I have on my car. Hit up Gendosa. He makes the best flares, period. All right, here's the first look underneath the car. Those are the Flying Miata subframe reinforcements that I mentioned earlier. There's the ISR exhaust. We've got a road sign with a Supreme sticker on it. Looks like probably like a crosswalk sign or something. There's a skid plate because this car used to be so low. Once we get the car up, we're going to disconnect the clutch master cylinder line. Already disconnected everything else, and then we're going to yank the motor out. Alright, so we chopped through the drive shaft, basically keep the transmission plugged up while we pull everything out.
It's cleaner that way.
Yeah, keep the fluids off the floor.
Hell yeah. Alright, let's narrow this down.
Alrighty. Alright guys, another Miata just showed up. This is Jake. Jake, what is this?
What's up, Stu?
What's up, man?
Look, it's same, just a little different.
Just a little different.
Just a little different.
You gonna drift this?
Oh no, man! I'm gonna like do a little restoration on it, make it look nice. I'm not gonna modify it at all.
Right. Okay.
I'm even trying to get around keeping the stock radio, but
we'll see about that.
yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. Cassette player's not working. Can't do the cassette aux adapters. So.
Can you even buy those anymore?
Yeah, I bought two.
Oh wow.
Neither of them work. So. the block. Might have made it skip timing.
Look, this is what you're supposed to do with the Miata.
Pretty much.
Rip this trash right the hell out of it, and put a real motor in this thing. That very well could just decide to fall.
Oh.
Tell you what, you can't.
One eternity later.
All right, guys, put in a good day's work, and the blackish purple car is now white. So, most of the plasti dip is actually off. It was all hands on deck. I had a lot of help. Couldn't have done it without the whole crew. Shout out to everybody that was here. Pulled a lot of trim pieces off of the car that I'm going to try and sell and get money for. And unfortunately, this passenger side footwell is terrible. It's not as bad as it could be, but we're gonna have to cut and replace that. So that's the only negative part that I could see after going through the car. Not super surprised. And yeah, I feel like still pretty confident in this car, and looking forward to getting this build done. So that's about it. Definitely check back for updates, and we'll catch you next time.